So Jake, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Phenomenal quarter, and the market's been very receptive to our figure so far. But maybe you could just give us a bit of in-depth coverage, because we always say, oh, what went wrong in certain events. We often don't say what went right. What was part of the success in what you've been able to achieve in the last 3 months for Q1?
Well, it was a great quarter, typically a strong quarter for us, but it was unusual in that this record was produced from a very well-rounded performance. All of our businesses within the equities franchise. And for those of you who aren't familiar with our equities franchise, we have a collection of different businesses that, and many of them are agency brokers, routing shares of global equities to various exchanges around the world and collecting commissions. But at the cornerstone of our franchise is our wholesale market maker, which is a legacy business at StoneX, one that's grown more recently, gotten into US listed equities. And that is reaching maturation as well, and having some really nice results.
We probably don't do a good enough job of self-promotion in this area, but I think it may surprise a lot of people. And I like to talk about the superlatives within our organization. And this is one of them, where for the last 11 years, we've been ranked #1 market maker. Is it 11 years?
Well, that's true. This is our 11th year as the #1 market maker in American depository receipts and foreign securities traded in the US. But when it comes to self-promotion and superlatives, my team and definitely my wife would disagree with you. We do a very good job of tooting our own horn.
Well, it's a phenomenal achievement. And when you look at the other, organizations, financial firms that are in the top 10 who are trying and constantly, nipping at our heels, the gap seems to be widening between us and second place, third place, and fourth place, with big names that you would be surprised to see in our shadow.
There has been some teams and some well-known household names like Citadel, Virtu, Jane Street, big banks. And when we became #1 in 2015, we were a much smaller company. It was an incredible achievement that some of our competitors really challenged. But to give you an idea of where this business has come, and these rankings are in ADRs and foreign shares. So if you were to pull out your phone right now and had a brokerage app, a Schwab, a Fidelity, or Robinhood in the US, and you wanted to trade Nintendo or Tencent Holdings or Danone, Louis Vuitton, there's about a 1 in 5 chance that StoneX will be taking the other side of your trade. So it's an incredible market share, but in a smaller portion of the market. By contrast, in the last 5 years, we've been building our US market maker. Now that's if you pulled out that same phone of yours and went to trade Tesla, Microsoft. So we're a smaller portion, a newer entrant to the market, but we're talking about the largest regulated centralized exchange on planet Earth. So it's the biggest market out there. So a $50 trillion market, to be precise.
Yes, so slightly bigger market
Yes.
to be operating in. But coming back to the ADRs, as you explained, the American depository receipts. So these are household names that people see every day, but they are just not listed in the United States. They could be listed all over the other financial capitals around the world, and we are the #1 market maker across the board. And within each of those markets, we will often be the top one or two of household names that people will see every day. And I think that's what we like to highlight to everyone in StoneX is next time you see an advert for an Audi car, or you see Danone yogurts, or you see reference to Rolls-Royce, you buy a Nintendo, you buy something made from Sony. These are the names that people should be thinking of, and they should start thinking about you and the team that make all these markets. And it's something I really want to do a better job within StoneX, is highlighting what we should be really proud of, and things that perhaps people just don't know enough about. And I think this is a perfect example of that success, and highlighting everything that we've been able to achieve. And hopefully we'll be here in 4 years, and celebrating our 15th year in a row for being #1 market maker. But if we move on from the market making, and I'm going to, I'll tell you a little story. When I obviously first became part of StoneX in 2004, there were only two products back then. There was equities market making, and there was payments from where I came from, and that was it. And we were the double X. And it's remarkable to see what the company looks like today. So,
and I remember meeting you in 2004 when you were very new, and I saw a lot of potential in you, Philip. I knew you would turn out to be okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I know you're lying, but anyway, but no, it's been a huge success story, and I think something that perhaps people have read about in press releases and announcements is our acquisition of Benchmark, and I think that's a really interesting add-on to what is a phenomenal franchise business. So maybe talk us through how it's going, because we announced it
in August. We closed.
Okay.
So the Benchmark acquisition just completed their first full Q as part of StoneX, which was a strong one. We're still beginning to integrate when dealing with regulatory hurdles and things like that. But they've been over the line now with us for a Q. It was an excellent Q for them. About 11 capital markets transactions in the queue of close to $2 billion in notional deal value.
I mean, they hit the ground running. And I'm
excited.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Were you surprised that they were able to embed themselves into the StoneX culture so quickly, but also just get so much traction so quickly?
I wasn't surprised. And we've done so many deals. And, the immediate thing you look for in an acquisition is culture. And people who really want to be a part of StoneX. And I think from the very beginning, Rich Messina, who's the founder and CEO of Benchmark, identified StoneX as a perfect platform to build upon. And for years, within the equities ecosystem, we're a bit of a microcosm of the company in that we have these different equities businesses, from our LATAM businesses to outsourced trading to portfolio trading and others, where we're looking for ways to fill in and give clients a reason to be here. And what we felt we were missing was a research product for single stocks and capital markets, a way for the other parts of StoneX to do more equity business. Equity trading in large part is ubiquitous, but we have all of these commercial clients, and now we have an ability to bring them to US capital markets. So more importantly, our global clients who want to be part of the US capital markets for primary or secondary opportunities, IPOs, debt offerings, we now have a vehicle to bring them to the market. So I think the Benchmark team identified this very quickly, and they were very excited to extend their reach beyond the United States and to get into different parts of the world, different parts of the company, and offer solutions. And just this past Q, we've had a very nice deal in Japan with MetaPlanet. We've had team from Benchmark in Dubai. We're just starting to look at what we can do, not only in the US, the largest market, but globally. I think there's an incredible opportunity.
Well, I think it's in keeping with our philosophy and culture of the ecosystem. Rich was probably the most enthusiastic, excited person with regards to being acquired and becoming part of StoneX. He was the first one to say, we want to be StoneX. We want to be out there as StoneX. We want to interact with everyone within StoneX. And I think it's taking an expertise and seeing the potential both from a geographical perspective, but also cross interactions and cross sellings between different products. I mean, he's your perfect example of how you want every acquisition
to give you an idea. A lot of these acquisitions, people get sentimental about the brand and their legacy, and it's tough culturally to integrate. I think the minute we finished the deal, I think Rich was peeling the Benchmark letters off of his door and so excited to put StoneX on the wall that, he's been a huge cheerleader of the brand and was very happy to be a part of it.
Well, I can tell you, I was wandering around New York last week and I heard nothing but praise being sung for Rich and the team across all the products, and I had an opportunity to go look at the 32nd floor, the Helmsley, where we're currently beginning fitting that out to be able to house our new colleagues. but there's a lot of excitement. And I think, it's something you can't create. It's very much in, benchmark culture today. And I think they will be a very exciting addition, and have been so far, to StoneX. And we want that level of excitement bottled and kept, and, nurture it, and, support it and build it. But it's been a great success, and you're obviously pleased with the business so far. As you said, you hit the ground running. I mean, how big do you think that could become?
Well, I usually have a tendency to get myself into trouble when prognosticating them, because I'm a big optimist, but I think it will be a very meaningful contributor. And I think the most exciting part of it is the way that I think the benchmark capabilities can help bring not only the equities business further out into the StoneX environment, but bridge us within the fixed income group, within futures. I mean, that was our intention with prime brokerage, and I think we've had a lot of success doing that. I think now we're folding in an entire new capability. So I think the sky is really the limit, and our intention is to become a meaningful player in US capital markets and challenge some incumbents who have been around for a long time, who have lofty share prices. And hopefully, as we speak, our share price is doing the same thing.
Hope so. Well, we say to all people within StoneX, leverage our geographical footprint, and that is a key message to the benchmark team, because we want them to leverage every location we have in the organization to be able to make this a global, phenomenal success.
And conversely, for all of the people watching this podcast of yours, which we all subscribe to and love, to think about how you can offer to your clients some of the capabilities that we're offering in the equities ecosystem, in capital markets and investment banking. The idea is we need to be out there telling our story. If you don't tell your story, nobody else will. And so I encourage people to go to the website, look at the benchmark tombstones on recent deals, have these conversations with clients, and be creative. And that's how the best outcomes.
Which goes back to my objective of making sure people have a very good understanding of everything we do. We're not your normal company. I think we're very proud of our ecosystem. We're very proud of the depth and breadth of our product offering, and the people we have, and the geographical footprint, and the capability that we can provide our clients worldwide. It's never finished. It's never finished. And adding a new capability, investment banking, to that portfolio, I think is very exciting. So I'm going to put you on the spot now. What's next? What's going to be the exciting area that you are looking forward to over the coming maybe 18 months? Apart from the bedding in of benchmark, and really getting the team well and truly into StoneX, both physically where they sit, but also just from a legal and entity perspective.
I think the integration and further maturation of the platform. You mentioned earlier that in past years when we've had a great quarter or a record result, it's usually been the financial crisis or COVID or Liberation Day. This quarter, I think, was more of a reflection on our maturation, in that we had, look, it's hard to describe anything in this day and age as normal. I think everything's a little bit chaotic, but it felt quite normal for us, where our volumes are 34% higher than they were in the trailing 12 months. Our risk book that we're carrying is the largest it's ever been by more than 25%, but our costs didn't go up. So I think we're using our technology, our brilliant developers, our teams, to look at how we carry our risk book, how we digest all of this flow going through our ecosystem, and being smarter about it. So I think the thing that excites me more than anything is the continued integration, maturation of our technology, and what we can do with our market maker as being an internalizer and executor of shares for not only our 200 broker-dealer clients, but all of the institutional and commercial clients throughout the firm who may want to access markets globally.
So becoming more relevant is key. I mean, we hear it across the organization, where because we're able to provide such a broad offering, that we become more relevant and I was going to say vital, but necessary avenue for a lot of our, especially financial institutions, our customers across the organization, who are able to do a multitude of products with us. And but in a way that makes their life easy. It's seamless. It's professional. It's just, and I keep going on about the relevance of StoneX to the markets. And I think you see it more and more as we grow and as we increase our capability, that our counterparties, our clients, view us as that vital cog in the global machine. And your ranking, I go back to your ranking again, where the gap between the number one, us, StoneX, and number two is widening. So, you're gaining a huge amount of momentum in a quarter where there wasn't a Liberation Day event that triggered sort of excessive volumes, but consistent increase in volumes going through our pipe work, going through our technology, going through our teams, and just, I put it down to just becoming more relevant. Well, I think credit to our marketing team who have been able to really solidify so much of the organization under the single StoneX branding, linking everything to StoneX, regardless of which area or part of the ecosystem that you may touch, or various areas. But so coming back to you didn't answer my question. What's going to be the most exciting thing for you in the coming 18 months, do you think?
I think in the coming 18 months, I think the most impactful things are going to be just what we discussed in terms of the international expansion and the impact of having a true banking franchise. And I think with what we're doing with our market maker, I think that has an opportunity to really move the needle as well in terms of what we're able to do for our captive clients and also for the clients of ours who we've had a long time who are keen to do more business.
Okay, excellent. What else? What have we not discussed?
Oh, we could discuss all sorts of things. I mean, it's your podcast. But it's been a tremendous run, and we're really excited to continue to build our other products. I mean, another one of ours that comes to mind is our outsourced trading platform, which is an acquisition from 2019. It was a company called Fillmore Advisors that was growing very quickly as an independent company, and we made a plan to bring them on board and add some gasoline to that fire, which they've done, grown the business dramatically. But now we've got outsourced traders in Australia. We're looking at Hong Kong, at Singapore, London, other parts of the world. Outsourcing is a trend that continues to really grow.
Maybe explain to the broader audience, what exactly do you mean by outsourced trading?
So for outsourced trading, effectively, we are offering a trader directly to the clients. And historically, this has been for maybe upstart funds where they have one strategy to trade Tokyo and they don't necessarily want to employ someone overnight. But it's become a trend that's lent towards the larger players, larger hedge funds, institutions where they want to outsource either a portion of or all of their trading. And we've had success not only going for individual traders who often join us from the fund they're about to cover, but also going after some of the larger research providers in the world who have realized it's very difficult to have a trading operation. It's very compliance intensive, legal intensive. You need connectivity, trading expertise, all of which we can provide. So really, whether packaging that as part of our prime brokerage offering or offering it as a standalone, we've had a ton of success. And Andrew Kaplan leads that business. He was the founder of Fillmore Advisors, and they've completely changed their complexion as part of StoneX and really embraced all of what the platform has to offer.
But equally, as you said, the market itself has slightly changed. You're originally targeting smaller funds who this was a way of avoiding employing a highly paid trader for a market perhaps that wasn't justified, and to suddenly seeing this as a specialist service that the larger organization, larger funds themselves are seeing as an added benefit, not just from a cost saving perspective, but actually an enhancement of performance.
I mean, the trend in outsourcing has grown exponentially, and we've found ourselves as one of the top providers. And I think what we're looking at is not only just outsourced trading, but outsourced services. We outsource COO, middle office. There's a lot of things we can do with that brand, and there's going to be a ton of growth there.
Well, that's very exciting. It's just what I enjoy is talking about the broad capabilities that we offer. I mean, nothing ceases to surprise me in terms of what's next with StoneX. That constant desire to make our ecosystem truly unique. I think we're already there, but my God, we've got so much more we could be doing. And, adding on all these different capabilities, which will, make us stickier and more relevant to our client base and a much more interesting, expansive business, I think is it's wonderful to see. And I ooze StoneX, cut me and I will bleed StoneX.
You are a true believer. I can say that.
Well, I think we should all be very proud of what we've achieved, and we're not there, but I do sense we've got momentum.
Well, like you, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid for over 20 years now, and that's really what's kept me with this company, is that there's always a new door opening, always a new opportunity, and I encourage everyone here to feel that the best opportunity you have is out in front of you, and if we're not doing something right now that we could be, speak up.
Totally agree.
I like that idea. And in our team, we have casually we have ADRs in the wild, which are for our team members when they travel the world and see the different companies that they trade that we might be number one in, up close and personal. So it's fun to see how our work every day interacts with the real world. And to your point, meeting with these companies and reminding them or letting them know that, hey, we are providing liquidity and making trading in your name more efficient in the United States. It leads to more opportunities in commercial hedging, banking, underwriting debt, you name it.
I know Brett Philpott mentioned it to Heineken. I know myself and Greg Kalinikos when we bought the clearing business from UOB. We mentioned it to UOB at the time. I mean, these are fun facts, but I think it's important. I think it just reiterates that whole ecosystem and just makes everyone more aware.
I've heard Brett mention Heineken a time or two as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Different circumstance though.
But so I'm putting it out there. This is what I do, and I strongly recommend it to everyone else. So inundate this guy with this information, because I think it's fascinating and something we should be using on a constant basis. So I guess really, unless there's anything else, Jake, I'm going to wrap this up and just say once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Phenomenal quarter. And we're very excited about all the new initiatives and the integration of Benchmark, which will begin hopefully quite quickly. It will be concluded, I should say.
Yes, you will start to see the Benchmark name or the Benchmark font get a little bit smaller, the StoneX font a little bit larger, as we pivot that brand into a StoneX offering. But you can look for our research, where we have 400 names that we're covering, and we're happy to make that list available. But really a lot of fun things to come.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.